Hello and welcome to Baking on a Budget. Now in this video I'm going to do something quite different. Those who have been following the channel, you may recall a while ago I said I was going to look at making 3-course meals for under £3. This is the very first one of those videos. In this video I'm going to make a beautiful leek soup. I'm going to make a mince and dumplings with roast potatoes and glazed carrots, and that's going to be followed by a beautiful chocolate mousse. All of this comes to £1.72. I had to add this up a couple of times because I thought it would be more than that, but it's not. It's £1.72 for this delicious 3-course meal. Now, as usual, I have all of the ingredients over here. I'm going to run through exactly what I'm using and exactly how much all of that cost. We are going to use 200 grams of leeks, and that is 53p. With that, we're going to add 200 grams of potato, which is 18p. We have 1 clove of garlic. I have 2 small cloves there, but it's about a clove, 4p. And we have 1 vegetable stock cube at 12p. We'll also need some hot water for this, but so far as the leek soup goes, that's the entirety of the ingredients. Total cost of that is 90p, and we're going to get 4 servings out of that. So the soup is 22p per serving. Now for the mince and dumplings, I have 250 grams of minced beef, which is £1.34. I have 1 onion at 9p. I have a stick of celery at 6p. I have 1 beef stock cube at 12p. We have about a teaspoon of black pepper at 4p, and we have dumpling mix, which will be about 5p. We just want a scoop of that, it's about 5p. The total cost of that is £1.70, and I'm saying we're going to get 2 helpings out of that. So that's about 85p per serving for the mince and dumplings. With that, we're serving carrot, so we have 1 carrot at 5p. We have 250 grams of potato to make the beautiful crispy roast potatoes with. And we have 300 ml of vegetable oil to roast them in. So if we take the cost of 1 serving of the meal, which is 85p, and the veg, that comes to a total of £1.16 for mince, dumplings, roast potatoes and carrots. Now the chocolate mousse I mentioned is the subject of another video, which I haven't uploaded yet. I have made it and it's ready to come. But this is a beautiful, very simple chocolate mousse. It takes about 5 minutes to make. And that will come out at about 34p per slice. So if we say 34p a slice for the mousse, we say 22p per serving for the leek soup, and we say £1.16 for the main meal itself. That is a 3-course meal for £1.72. Now to begin with, I'm just going to chop and then wash this leek. It's inevitable with leeks, it's just the way they grow. You do get a little bit of soil in here, and that's best taken out. I'm going to put that in my sieve, and I'm just going to wash it under the tap and make sure I've got everything out of there. Next thing is just to peel these potatoes. This is like a 50-50. It's the same amount of potato as it is of leek. And you'll find that this soup is very simple to make, and it is absolutely delicious. I like it quite thin. There's a few ways to do it. You could leave it chunky, all in one, but I'm going to blend this and make it into a fairly thin soup, and with that I will get 4 servings out of this amount. I'm just going to dice these potatoes so that we don't have to have them on the hob for a long time. Just like that will do fine. And as I say, I do like a little garlic in the leek soup, just for a little bit of taste, and I'm just going to crush them, chop them fairly coarsely, because as I say, I am going to blend all of this. And that's the ingredients prepared. The only other thing we need is some hot water for the stock cube. Right, the only thing I neglected to mention there was there's about a half a tablespoon of oil in there. Now to that I'm just going to add the leeks. In we go. And I'm going to add the potato and the garlic. And I'm just going to let those leeks soften a little. That smells beautiful straight away. As soon as the leeks and the garlic hit the oil, that's beautiful. Now I have here about, it's just over a litre of hot water with the vegetable stock cube dissolved in it. I'm going to pour this over the leeks and potatoes and just see where we need to stop. Probably about there I would say. This will boil down. We can leave the lid off a little to let it reduce a little if there's too much liquid in there. But as I say, I do like this fairly runny, fairly thin soup. That's how I like it. So I'm saying that's going to be good. Now, The only other thing you want to do is put a crack of black pepper in there. And now we're going to put the lid on there and we're going to leave that for about half an hour until everything's softened up. Very simple to do. Now for the mince, I'm going to prepare this onion. I'm going to chop this, again, fairly finely. And the same with the celery. A bit broken there, it'll be okay. I'll chop that in half. And then we just want to chop that up. All looking good. Again, we have the pan with a very slight drizzle of oil. There's some fat going to come out of the mince, so that I don't put a lot of oil in there. But what we do want to put in is the onions and the celery. As I say, the celery is a thing of personal choice. I do like celery with mince. This is pretty much the same as the mince pie filling, which I made a while ago. Celery, onions, mince. Very simple. Obviously you could put Worcester sauce in there, you could put some herbs in, you could put tomato puree in, whatever it is to your own taste, really. But the basic recipe, I'm using the onions, celery and mince. Okay, so that's had a couple of minutes, just until the onions have softened a little. We put the minced beef in there and let that brown and break down. That may not seem like a fantastic amount of mince, which it's not, but this is a 3-course meal. There is a soup course, the mince will have dumplings and roast potatoes with it, and there will be a sweet to follow, so that will fill me up, I tell you. Okay, that's had a couple of minutes and the mince is nicely browned and broken down. Okay, I've just strained some of the fat off that. I do like to take it out because there will be fat in the meat itself. There is suet in the dumplings, obviously, so there's quite a high fat content in this. Now I'm going to pour the stock in until that meat is just covered, and I'm going to let that simmer on the gas here for probably about 15-20 minutes. Okay, so we have our carrot, which we are going to chop. Let's take the skin off that. Very good. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop this into about 1 inch long, each piece about 1 inch long. Then we'll chop it that way, and we'll chop it that way. There is a name for this, I forget what it is. And again, we want to peel these potatoes for our roast potatoes. I'm going to part boil these just for a short while, soften them up before they go into the oven. And they will be beautiful and fluffy on the inside and nice and crisp on the outside. Okay, now I'll just move the soup over so I can show you what I'm doing with the carrots. In the pan I have very small amount of butter in there. I'm going to simply put the carrots in the butter and just coat them in the butter. Then I'm going to add just a touch of mixed herbs in there. This is just the way I like carrots. Again, I'm sure there's many other ways you could do it, but I find if I just put the mixed herbs in there, lightly coat them in a little melted butter, and then I'll cover them with water, let them simmer and soften. Now similarly, I've got a pan here which I'm going to put the potatoes in, and again we just want to cover them with some hot water and stick them on the hob. Okay, so as stuff is simmering away, I'm going to put this pan in the oven. As you can see, it's been in the oven many times before. I've got some oil in the bottom of there. I've got about 30 ml of vegetable oil in the bottom of there, and I'm going to heat that up first before I put the potatoes into it. So that's happening. We have just this packet of dumpling mix, really. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of that. I don't know what's in here. I think it's a bit of suet and some self-raising flour. I think that's about it. But we're going to put that in there, and we're going to add a little cold water to it and bring it together. And there it is. So the dumpling for the top of that has just come together there. That's going to expand when it goes in the oven. It's going to be delicious. Popped on top of there. Okay, the oil's been heating up for a while. The potatoes are ready. They'll go in there. They'll sizzle a little. And this is going back onto the top shelf of the oven, and they will brown up beautifully. And whilst they are doing their thing, the potatoes, we can get some of this beautiful mince into this very small dish. Again, this dish has been in the kitchen for some time now, since Pa sold the yacht, I think. And we want to just get a little bit of that gravy on there like that. That's going to be beautiful. We want to take the dumpling at this point. There it is. Just round that up and we'll stick it on top of there. And this is going in a lower shelf in the oven along with the potatoes. Here we go. And whilst they are in the oven, the only thing left to do with this soup is to blend it. I have a hand blender here and I'm just going to blend that up until we have a nice smooth light soup. And there it is. Now, as I say, this is a thing of personal choice. I do like the soup quite light. You could have it chunky, you could not blend it at all. You could have less liquid in there. The choice will be yours, but that's going to be one beautiful soup. Okay, now the time has come to serve this up. And first of all, we have our beautiful light leek and potato soup. That looks absolutely beautiful and it smells absolutely gorgeous as well, and there's plenty left in there for the next few days. And I'm just going to dress that with a little crack of black pepper. That's beautiful, and a whole bowl of soup, 22p. Now on to the next course. And here we have these beautiful crisp roast potatoes, nice and fluffy in the middle, golden brown on the outside. Along with that, we have our dumpling and the mince. And we're going to put this on the plate here. And we're going to get that mince out of there. And the gravy. That is looking beautiful. Very nice. And then last but not least, we have our glazed carrots with herbs. Delicious. And for dessert, we have a beautiful slice of this really light chocolate mousse, which, as I say, a video on how to make this coming soon. So this whole meal, the 3-course meal, is £1.72. This is an absolutely marvellous meal for £1.72. I'm just going to taste that soup. Oh, that's delicious. With a fresh bread roll, that would be really something. I mean, it's beautiful on its own, but yes. As I say, this is the first video of this nature which I've done, a 3-course meal for under £3, well under £2. I will be making more of these in the future. Let me know in the comments if there's anything in particular you would like to see. Also, this goes in with a good lunch idea, and you could take that in a flask, in a thermos flask, or take it and microwave it at work or whatever, and that is 22p a bowl. 22p. I'll finish this off then, move on to the main. Now this is a substantial meal. The potatoes look beautiful, can't wait to taste them. The carrots are going to be beautifully soft with herbs, and the dumpling nice and crispy on the outside. It's just soaked up some of the juices from the mince. That is delicious, if I do say so myself. Let me try one of the potatoes. Beautifully crisp on the outside, fluffy on the inside, with the gravy from the mince. Absolutely beautiful. Now I would say that is a really varied and substantial meal for less than £2. And as always, can I say, if you've enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos like this, do subscribe to the channel. Many more to come. Now, if you'll forgive me, I'm going to eat the rest of this beautiful meal, and I thank you very much for watching.